My phone has no service. Is your internet down too? I can't make any calls. If you woke up to this chaos recently, you were not alone. Millions of people across the country suddenly found themselves disconnected, unable to work, call loved ones, or even browse the web. The culprit? A massive Verizon outage that sent shockwaves through the nation. What exactly happened? Why did one of the biggest networks in the US suddenly go dark for so many, and what does this mean for you? Stick around because we're diving deep into the great Verizon blackout of 2024. First, let's set the stage. Who is Verizon? For most people in the United States, that name is synonymous with communication. Verizon is a telecom giant, one of the big three wireless carriers alongside AT&T and T-Mobile. They provide the invisible network that powers our daily lives, from the smartphone in your pocket to the internet connection in your home and office. With over 144 million wireless connections, their network is a critical piece of modern American infrastructure. Think about it. Emergency services, businesses, banking, and just staying in touch with family all rely on these networks functioning perfectly. So when a company this massive has a problem, it's not just an inconvenience, it's a national event. So just how big was this outage? The scale was staggering. Reports started flooding in early in the morning, creating a digital tidal wave on outage tracking websites like Down Detector. The outage wasn't limited to one small area. Major cities from New York and Boston on the East Coast to Chicago in the Midwest, and all the way to Los Angeles and San Francisco on the West Coast, were lighting up the map. We're talking about tens of thousands and likely millions of users affected. The disruption hit a wide range of services. Many people found their cell phones showing no service, making calls and sending texts impossible unless they were on Wi-Fi. But for others, even their home internet, provided by Verizon Fios, was down. This created a double whammy for remote workers who suddenly had no way to connect. The impact was immediate and widespread, leaving a huge portion of the country digitally stranded. Naturally, the big question on everyone's mind is, what caused this? When a network this sophisticated goes down, there are a few usual suspects. The first and most common reason is a technical failure within the network itself. This could be anything from a software update gone wrong, a critical piece of hardware failing, or a fiber optic cable being accidentally cut. These cables are the superhighways of the internet, and a single break can take out services for an entire region. Verizon initially released a statement mentioning a fiber issue, which points towards this kind of physical damage. They explained that a third-party company had accidentally cut a major fiber line during construction work. This is actually more common than you might think and is a constant headache for telecom companies. Another possibility people always wonder about is a cyber attack. Could a malicious group have targeted Verizon to cause chaos? In today's world, it's a valid concern. A distributed denial of service or DDoS attack, for example, could overwhelm Verizon's servers and bring them to their knees. While this is always a possibility, telecom companies have incredibly robust security systems. In this specific case, Verizon did not mention any cyber threats. And security experts largely agreed that the pattern of the outage looked more like a network infrastructure failure than a coordinated attack. So, while the idea of a cyber attack makes for a thrilling headline, the confirmed reason seems to be a good old-fashioned, albeit very impactful, accident involving a cut cable. The domino effect from that one cut was what caused the widespread disruption. As the network struggled to reroute massive amounts of traffic, as soon as the network went down, another network lit up: social media. Twitter, or X, became the de facto town square for everyone to share their frustration and seek answers. The memes were, of course, instantaneous. We saw pictures of people using their phones as paperweights, jokes about being forced to talk to their families, and countless posts simply asking, "Is Verizon down for anyone else?" This collective experience, though frustrating, also brought a sense of community. It was a shared moment of modern-day helplessness. But beyond the humor, there were serious concerns. People shared stories of missing important work meetings, being unable to contact elderly parents, or worrying about not being able to call 911 in an emergency. These posts highlighted just how deeply integrated these services are into our safety and daily routines. It was a powerful, real-time look at our dependence on digital connectivity. So, how did Verizon handle this crisis? Their official response started with acknowledgments on social media and their support pages. Their primary message was that their engineers were aware of the issue and working quickly to resolve it, As more information came in about the cut fiber cable, they became more specific, which helped to quell some of the speculation. For customers, the main solution was simply to wait. In some areas, service was restored within a few hours as crews worked to physically repair the damaged fiber. In other, more heavily impacted regions, the outage lasted much longer. As for compensation, this is often handled on a case-by-case basis. Verizon has a policy where they may offer credits for prolonged service disruptions. Typically, you have to contact their customer service and request a bill credit for the time you were without service. It's usually not a huge amount, but it's a way for the company to acknowledge the inconvenience. This whole event is a great, if stressful, lesson in preparedness. What can you do when your primary connection to the world suddenly disappears? First, have a backup plan. If you work from home, consider having a secondary internet option, even if it's just tethering to your phone, assuming your cell provider is different and still working. Second, know how to use Wi-Fi calling. If your cellular service is down but you have a working Wi-Fi connection, you can still make calls and send texts. Make sure this feature is enabled on your phone right now. Third, download offline maps for your local area. If you lose service while driving, you won't be able to use navigation apps. Having maps saved directly to your device can be a lifesaver. And finally, keep an old-school battery-powered radio for emergency broadcasts. It might sound ancient, but it's a reliable way to get information when all digital channels are down. To wrap things up, how does this Verizon outage stack up against other major telecom failures? Unfortunately, it's not a unique event. Back in 2021, a massive Facebook, now Meta, outage took down Facebook, Instagram, and WhatsApp for over 6 hours due to a faulty configuration change affecting billions of users worldwide. More recently, in early 2024, an AT&T outage locked out millions of their customers for several hours, also suspected to be caused by a technical error during a network expansion. What we can learn from these events is that no network is invincible. Whether it's Verizon, AT&T, or even the tech giants, the complex systems we rely on are fragile. The key takeaways for us, as users, are to stay informed and be prepared. Follow your service provider on social media and know where to check for official updates. And remember those backup tips we talked about. Having a plan B isn't being paranoid. It's just being smart in our hyper-connected world. Thanks for watching. I hope this breakdown was helpful for understanding what went on during the big Verizon outage. If you found this video informative, give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing for more deep dives into the tech stories that affect us all. Stay safe and stay connected. See you in the next one.